Contrary, if you're in the lead, 2-1, 3-1, 5-1 in a 15-point bout, and you know it's a formidable opponent, no time to celebrate, all right? You have to understand that sometimes the basic actions the opponent never seen from you worked for you. Let's say you had a flick that go off, great. You know, opponent shut you down on it, now a feint disengage worked, okay. Next time a toe hit works, so you're up 3-0. But by the fourth time when you go back to the flick, none of those things may work because you just basically demonstrated everything you got. So it's no time to celebrate. If you got an early lead, look to work harder and smarter, right? So most important concept, don't chase if you have the lead, right? You should be fighting for territory. So let's say I have the lead, Ted is looking to pressure me. I should be looking to fight just enough before it gets dangerous, then I may have to let go because I might not be prepared to do anything about it. But I am trying to fight for as much space as I have behind me, so that way when push comes to shove, I'm not stuck, right? So those things you want to be keeping in mind. When you're up too, right? So to continue with that. This is going to require, depending on the fencer, some experience. So let's say Ted is up too. His job is to maintain the lead. And he, let's say, respects me as a fencer. It's an important tournament, right? So as we're fencing, he's up a few. If I am at this distance giving him an opening, are you going for it or no? Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm right here. No, right? It's too dangerous, completely unnecessary risk for you having the lead. Time is obviously on your side, right? So his job, or your job if you have the lead, is to recognize traps. So keep fencing stronger people than you are, and start recognizing some traps. So most common traps would be something in terms of giving a target, right? So if you're up and you all of a sudden you notice your opponent is no longer attacking you, but rather doing one of these, you know, showing you their body, showing you their toe. It might be all very enticing, but really be careful what you choose to act on. There's ways to go about it. You could ignore some, pretend to go on some, and try to, you know, double second intention, outsmart your opponent, but just kind of be worried of that. In general, to preserve your lead, Ted should be working on one of, say, three things. In his case, two, if you're a pistol gripper, maybe three. One, he wants to get me to attack to make a stop hit. Two, if he would be strong, he could get a pair riposte the same way. And lastly, let's say he's really being afraid, I'm really working, I'm never really attacking, but he is afraid that at some point in time he will miss a hit. It's attack on prep, nice, strong, and penetrating, right? Basically where you're not going to miss the target, we're at least going to get at least a double. I have a couple of just like, I guess, general tactical suggestions from watching you guys, and also I made a few notes when I was in Montreal, just the nationals. So this really concerns all of us and everybody else in Canada. I'm just as a general like fan of fencing, seeing what works and what doesn't work, okay? So first thing is, on guard, concept of the person that's on top going to win more often. So if we're moving around, and this is perfect, freeze Ted. Ted in general stands on guard with those big hands of his, and that pinky right here looks very enticing for me. And if we're fencing, I realize this typical fence, because I've seen this a few times, they do this, that, nothing's really happening, and they just choose to go under. That's a perfect setup for Ted to make that hit. So it's a very much a soccer move to climb underneath people's bell guards, okay? Most French grippers tend to do that. They tend to go against a pistol grip when they're out of options, going underneath here, right? And the problem is that occasionally when we do succeed, makes us believe that we're going to be continuously succeeding with that hit. It will work occasionally. Use it at your own discretion. I'm not saying not to ever use it. There's definitely maybe some moments where if you feel athletic, you can risk it all, touch and get out. Hey, more praise to you. You're talented. Go ahead. In general, though, you're going to get more punished on that hit than you're going to succeed. Sometimes it feels like there's nothing to score. still fight for the high line. So if I ignore those fingers for Ted, I'm going to continue working something over top because I know my coach told me high line will win more often. Now Ted has relatively same idea. He doesn't want to go under it. We continue working right again. So pretend to fence a little bit over top. So we're right. Nobody keeps climbing underneath, but somebody will have to make a mistake. And this is where the game of fencing comes in. None of us want to make a dumb mistake, but we all want to feel like we can score on a good one. So now this is where the invites can happen, right? I can stop and then look to continue. Those type of things. Learn to score that way. Those hits are way safer. They require a little more skill on your part because you have to figure out how to get through the tougher door. But there is no way to hit you. Basically no way unless you step forward and give a commitment, which was the whole thing. Most of the cases, though, this was the toughest version. What will happen is that we're both relatively stubborn, but Ted, had slightly better coaching, or he has a coach right beside him. I used to say that, don't go under, don't go under. Not to say I'm good, but that's one thing I used to say. And what will happen is the opponent will keep working, and eventually they will make this stupid decision. Let me get it, because it seems to be open. And that's precisely how you lose bouts. That's precisely that lead hit. So that's how you get that lead. You just shut down all possible areas, and you have potential one opening. You have your tip defending that opening. All right?